Hey guys, Caleb here. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's reached out to us over the last few weeks to talk about the new show format. We've gotten a lot of comments saying more or less, hey, we love the new show format, but some of the stuff that you're covering is a little depressing. I agree with you, and I thought we might mix it up a little bit today. So June and I invited Ed, who's been on the show a bunch of times, and Arif Hasan, my co-hosts from my other show, 60 Minute Drill, that's about to start back up for football season. And we're talking about another depressing subject, but hopefully in a way that'll make you laugh. So thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.
It's such a good bit for I sleep 6 hours a day. It's like the whole, is ultimately what it comes down. It's such a good bit.
But what's funny with me though is like, I run a PR firm, I write the newsletter, I write the premium newsletter, I do the podcast, I do 4 or 5 workouts a week, yoga, boxing, basketball, or lifting, basketball. You keep busy. And I sleep 8 hours a day, and if I sleep like 7 hours, I'm like, I am dying. I am physically, I'm like.
Do you think the guy who has 3 days in a day works out twice a day every day? So he can
for
work
sure.
out.
Yeah, he's roided the fuck up.
He's muscle hacking is actually what he's calling it.
He's 100% on like some Canadian steroids.
For sure. I just love that his rest day is just the 6 hour day in between the first day and the third day.
No, it's just 2 hours, remember? He has like 4 days in one day, so...
Whatever happened to that guy? Has he died of, like, at a certain point, you either, like, have a heart attack or you, like, climb a clock tower because you just go
Based on his
insane.
math, he is now 500 years old.
Right, yeah.
He's long dead. He's gone.
He's like Yoda.
He's got 5 graves, yeah.
Yeah, that's why Yoda was so old, by the way.
He's grave maxing.
He's great.
No, I want to live like that
4
guy.
days and 124 hours I have.
Dude, his graves are kicking my graves as asses. That's so far ahead of my graves.
You only got 1 potential grave. That's you fucking
That's
loser.
pathetic,
Goddamn.
dude. Yeah.
You cut your body into 18 pieces, now you got 18 graves.
I love the like grind set type guys, but like not even just like grind set, but like lifestyle grind guys. Like they're so fascinating to me. They're not normal human beings. They don't live like normal people.
It's so
this
awesome
guy's
to like
worshiping
take the
at the
totality of the
altar
human
of-
experience and try and find new ways to make it horrifying and worse.
I have changed
holy
and
shit.
manipulated
That totally reminds
time.
me. My favorite clip ever has to be, have you heard of this like productivity guru, Ali Abdaal?
Oh, God.
He's very annoying. He's like this British doctor or whatever. So already annoying. But he like has all of these stupid hacks for like, you know, like any other productivity guru. But his favorite hack is that like while he's eating, he wants to catch up with all the media he's missing from being so productive, but he eats too quickly. So he has all of these extensions that allows him to like speed up all of the media that he's watching, which like, I know people who like speed up podcasts and shit like that. And it's like, okay, I'm not into that, but that's fine. That works. But he's like watching fucking anime and he speeds up past all the dialogue so he can only get to the fight scenes. And the example he chose was like Hunter x Hunter, and I was like, what the fuck? What does this show mean to you now? They're not explaining fucking shit to you. This show is so weird.
He just like, oh, there's a clown now. There's ants. I guess there's a little girl. There's an old man. He dead. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But
Old man is Buddha now? I don't know. Yeah.
There's a big statue, and they're dying.
I totally understand the inclination and fear of like mortality to want to like live as much and experience as much human life as possible, but at a certain point you're not experiencing anything. It's just
right. It's
living.
Not life anymore.
Yeah,
it's just being. Yeah.
No, and you're not gaining anything from it. You're just you're wasting it in a crazier way than most people like air quotes waste life.
He has not written anything since June. Did Ali Abdaal die?
Oh hell yeah.
Dead.
So I fucking hate this guy. Every time
life.
he enters a hobby, I have like a niche.
Wait, his team walked away?
What?
Damn, there's
drama.
Dude,
drama.
okay, I cannot wait to watch the video essay on whatever the fuck happened there.
Away. Why
I assume they all were all inspired by his grind set and they all became their own entrepreneurs or something.
Yeah, it's just
MLM
one day
grind.
they all went, God, this guy fucking sucks. He made us speak really fast, and it's just not tenable long term. Faster! You're still speaking too slow for me. What a fucking... I do think there was something very depressing about being a productivity guru. It's like, here is how I've cut all the fat off my life. Everything that I do is hyper efficient. I enjoy nothing. Everything is efficient.
Well,
beautiful.
the thing about productivity gurus is that they never like really tell you what they're being productive about, right? So
Yeah, true.
So,
They're being
so it's just
productive
like,
about
I
productivity.
fucking grind every day to do fucking what? B2B sales? What the fuck is this?
I grind every day to tell you how I grind.
Yeah.
What a
it really is-
miserable cycle.
Yeah, it's very depressing. All very depressing. I enjoy all the bullshit I do, at least.
Yeah.
At least
See, that's
mine
the
is
thing.
like an unhealthy obsession that I admit exists.
Yeah,
that's the
I kind
thing,
of feel
is,
like
like-
I could sell a course where like the key to like maxing your productivity is to be like water, go where it's lowest, give into the inertia, and that's actually how the best way to experience life.
That actually rips. I like that.
Yeah, I have been told a few times, oh, you should do like a course or something. I'm like, my whole thing is I'm just like, okay, so first of all, have an existent business that you use to build your other ones up for years and years and years and years. Have a perfect situation and take advantage of that. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, and also the last person who asked me, I said, I'm not a scam artist, and they stopped responding. But it's like, I've never seen these courses always end up like, I'll do a marketing course. Guess what? You need to have something that people really like that's easy to understand, and you need to do that too. There's not really any fucking tricks.
Or you
dropshipping.
could
Got
simply
it.
lie to them.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, or I could lie.
Alternatively, you could meet Peter Thiel at a company and get an
Right.
injection of like $1 billion. That's another way.
Love $1
Yeah,
billion.
that's I think what we're going to be talking about
That's-
today.
Someone
Oh,
said
hell
that
yeah.
to me the other day, though. They were like, yeah, I think something happens when you get $1 billion. And it twists. I'm like, I would be fine.
You can be trusted.
I would be completely
normal
fine.
with it.
I
Yeah.
would be complete. I would go and do exactly what I'm doing now, except more of it. Like I would be totally. I don't know how. Oh no, I can't talk to my friends who don't have $1 billion. Yes, I can. I can do that whenever
I just like
want.
the thing about getting $1 billion is I would have so much fun losing it. So I would hire
Yeah.
all my friends. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing with $1 billion, man?
Well, there's that word though, friends.
Right.
Yeah, but so we're talking about Polymarket, are we? So this,
Yeah.
this is
Deal.
this is what I call San Francisco.
Hey. Fucking got him.
What? He's back.
Okay, yeah, that's a good place to start the show. We've been going for a minute.
That's fun.
We got a couple, no, I wouldn't say complaints, since we've changed this format of the show and the name and everything. That was, hey guys, really like the new format. I'm learning a lot, but like it's pretty fucking grim. All the things that you're talking about. So we're not going to change the fact that we're talking about grim stuff today, but we are going to, I think, give you guys a little bit of a respite and bring back some of the old WK style yap sessions. And I thought it would be really fun to have Ed and Arif from my other show, 60 Minute Drill, the football show that I keep telling you is going to come back soon. And we're going to talk about a couple things today. Before we do, let's say hi to everybody. June, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm excited to explain how I lost all of my money. I'm going to be homeless soon. It's all tied up in foreign markets. Don't
Sweet.
download DraftKings. Not good. But everything's going well. Other than that, we're good. We're doing great.
Ed, how are you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. I'm writing 10 to 15,000 words a week and don't seem to be letting up. Things are going well.
Word maxing?
Yeah, I'm work maxing, chill maxing. No, I'm doing
yeah.
great.
Good. And Arif, how are you doing, pal?
Dude, every time we start 60 Minute Drill, we always ask like how you doing, and I have like some doom and doom, like I'm gonna kill myself. But no, I'm good.
That's good. The off season has been treating you well, I see.
Yeah, exactly. The Vikings haven't started playing yet, so I'm good.
Yeah, I actually I haven't been paying attention to your guys' preseason. I was going to ask, first of all, you two specifically how your off season has been. I feel like we're coming back from summer vacation a little bit, so to speak. Well, how's your off season been? And tell me about the Vikings, Arif.
I mean, the Vikings are kind of silly, but they always are, and that's kind of their charm.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what's going to happen with them, and what's cool is that, like, now no one else pretends to know what's going to happen with them, because they got this new quarterback. No one knows jack about him. They got rid of the guy that won them, like, 14 games, and everyone was kind of cool with it. They were like, yeah, no, that's fine. Seattle got him. Everyone's happy, but we have no idea what's going on. There's some stuff on the defense that looks good, but some of it looks bad. There's some stuff on the offense. It mostly looks good, but you got a quarterback, so I don't know.
Yeah. Ed, how was your off season, man? How what have we been missing out on?
I already sold like all of my tickets, if I'm honest.
What the?
That was the plan, though.
With preseason. You got rid of them already.
I don't fucking care. I made a profit. Look, this team for years.
It's the easiest grift Ed has every year. He gets season tickets to the Raiders, and then he sells all of them individually.
And I make like bank on each one. I'm making like a 300% profit here. Slam Bankman-Fried style. And
that's Raiders maxing, dude.
Yeah, and the first game, I think it was like -3 yards for Ashton Jeanty, which is exactly what we're looking forward to see. But he scored a touchdown today, which is great. Max
good.
Crosby and Geno Smith flipping off people in the crowd. Already we're in mid-season attitude.
That was pretty sick.
We just like, even with like, it's either going to be that Pete Carroll really bangs around them, or we're just going to get blown out two games straight, and just people are going to start killing themselves. And I'm already ready for this with my ticket. Yeah, in the Twitch club.
Hopefully, you gave these to enemies and not friends.
Well, I don't care. The money's good. Not my problem. You made the fucking mistake of buying these, shithead.
You really are. You really would make a good grindset guy. See, you don't even care. It's all about profit to you. Damn.
Well, I mean, I've been paying for these season tickets for years and subjecting myself to the Las Vegas Raiders. For me,
I think Ed just makes more in a podcast episode than he does selling any of these tickets. So, like, this focus on this grindset profit for these Raiders tickets is just wild to me.
Well, it's not even grindset. So now when you put the tickets into Ticketmaster, they will give you an offer, and it's been better than most of the things.
It's gambling now?
Oh my god!
No,
is it like gambling?
No, it's like arbitrage. It's like they're the Zillow of his tickets.
Oh,
yeah, but they just buy one off like up front, and 100% sure they're going to lose money on these. Like,
no, they're going to paint the tickets in like millennial gray, and then they'll sell them back, maybe to an Airbnb investor. You're fine.
I just realized that the Raiders really have the millennial like interior decor scheme going on.
It's true, yeah.
They should play on that like vinyl flooring, the gray plank. That should be the stadium.
Yeah.
I fuck it. No, look. Here's the thing. Maybe next season I'll bother to grace them with my presence, but I watched a lot of Josh McDaniels. I shouldn't be. No one should be mad at me for this.
Yeah.
I would love them to be good, but I've also seen what they've done in the past. I think that it's hard to tell from the preseason. I think like watching the Raiders preseason is even more useless than watching the others, because they could be terrible, they could be good. It doesn't mean anything. You're learning nothing from this team. In fact, the first, 1 to 10 games, you can't really tell if they're good either. So it's just really just every season you just kind of slop up there and watch this shit. Maybe they'll impress me. Either way, I deserve every penny of profit I get from these fucknuts.
Football sounds like it's going great so far.
No, I'm really looking forward to this season.
I love mid-season form too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm already preparing to read the Gamecast on ESPN and start full arguments with people, which is like a classic tweet, which is like reading the stats from the game and arguing with the people who watch it.
What?
That's like everybody in our
so
fucking
good.
60-minute drill Discord. They don't watch the games, but they'll fight with you.
Yeah, and it's really
so
easy,
mad.
really easy to just go to someone on Twitter and be like, "Well, look, his yards per carry was terrible." Yeah,
I got rage baited by a fellow Seahawks fan to go to StatMuse last night during the preseason game when we were talking about.
Jesus, man, you got it bad.
I do.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Well, we were
is
talking about who
StatMuse?
was better between Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet last year, and I got it. I got sucked into it,
You
and I was
idiot.
totally rage baited. Doesn't matter. But Ed, one quick thing about football, then we'll move on. Next year, Seattle is going to Vegas, so sell me your tickets and let's go hang out.
Oh no, we'll watch a game together.
It'll be fun.
It
They
could
were,
be
By the
amazing.
way, Ed, StatMuse is meant to be a natural language search engine for a statistical database, and it was like before AI and also worse than it. So
It
it's
sucks.
it's,
Hell yeah.
it's an awful. I love it.
Sometimes it's like it's when I don't. If I need quick access to a fact and I'm too stupid, I'm like a fucking caveman banging a
Dude,
coconut
just
on a
text
rock.
me. You have my number.
I was in the middle of a fight, and I was like, I can't, like, I'm not going to go through a
I'm
spreadsheet right now.
conferencing my buddy in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to phone a friend in a fucking
Get on
football
a Zoom
fight.
meeting. Like,
We gotta settle this right
We gotta
here, right
consult
now.
this. Yeah.
the Oracle.
I was actually like kind of yelling at my fucking computer because StatMuse, you're right,
Yeah.
StatMuse sucks, and I was like,
It's so bad.
because like Kenneth Walker average yards per carry 2024, and it's like we know what you mean, but we can't answer it because it's like LLM based or whatever. And I was like fucking hooting and hollering. It's like just give me the information. I know I'm right.
That rules. I am sponsored by 2 different football statistical database firms. You could just ask me.
Which ones are you sponsored by?
FTN Fantasy and
Okay.
Pro Football Reference.
Oh, I knew about Pro Football Reference. That's right. We talked about that last year. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. We're talking about online gambling again, and we went to sunny, beautiful Las Vegas. Arif and I did to record an episode of Better Offline with Ed to talk a little bit about sports betting in general and why they're bad. They're ruining sports. They're bad for our minds. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And we're going to also kind of segue that into a little more classic kill the computer style suicide fodder because it's even more insidious if you can believe it.
Yeah, it's gambling just keeps getting worse. It turns out online
Dude, that's
gambling in
nuts.
particular. Yeah, it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah. Let's see, Arif, let's start with... I think you had the most to say on that episode. It was a really good episode. You should listen to it. I had a lot of fun
It was
recording
one of our
going down there.
best performing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me kind of the elevator pitch on if you were to try and get our audience to go listen to that episode, or at least to care about like why online gambling is bad, not just for sports, but also just bad for people in general. And what is different and what is changing rapidly right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I think the first thing to sell people on the episode is that Ed told us that he had so many messages just to his email in the subreddit about people who don't care about sports.
Oh, yeah.
That were enthralled by the episode, that thought it was a
Oh, yeah.
wonderful episode, and we got them to care about sports.
Yeah.
Which, for people
That's
who are
the
just like
60-minute
not in
drill
sports,
touch.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
Well, I also specifically asked both of you to explain why you enjoy sports, which sounds very obvious, but I don't think anyone talks about.
Yeah, no, people don't really like interrogate that, and I think that that's really useful. So we talk about that, so that's definitely worth listening to. But long story short, that there's like a crisis that's occurring within the gambling atmosphere and sports gambling specifically that are impacting populations that don't have the ability to deal with it. And any place that has legalized sports gambling has seen an increase in the number of suicides, seen an increase in the number of defaults on mortgages, and has seen an increase in the number of defaults on medical debts. Like, it is incredible how impactful this one item is within like American society. And of course, they're targeting people who they've got a lot of life to fuck up, right? They're targeting a lot of young American men who already think that they've got reasons to have grievances, and then suddenly they lose a home they were never going to get anyway. And now I think it could become a vector for radicalization. But sports gambling has so infected the way that people approach just basically their day-to-day lives, but also the way that they approach sports, that it fundamentally alters the perception of sports among people who genuinely enjoy it. And it has robbed players of livelihoods and careers. It's robbed people of their livelihoods and careers. It's destroyed families. I strongly recommend people listen to that episode because we go into a lot of the details but all the insidious mechanisms, you'd be surprised, all the insidious mechanisms that go into making sports gambling even more addictive than you think it is.
No, I think the thing for me that really started putting this on my radar as like an evil thing to care about because it's really affecting people is I couldn't find the source of this article. I was writing a little bit stuff about this at one point just because I wanted to get all my thoughts down. But I saw an article, a study that said that like the more under 18-year-olds are in like gambling addiction support groups than ever before in history, like under 18 in some cases, and people under the age of 25 is like the largest group in these like support groups trying to get them like to stop gambling and like get off of their addiction. Like this addiction is like really targeting the youngest people from what I can just like, of course, everyone, but it's like really getting young people, young men, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting is that I was writing a piece about this, and one thing that I found in looking at a lot of the same studies that you probably looked up is that the mechanism of addiction that occurs within gambling is very similar, like when they do brain scans, very similar to the addictions that we typically associate with chemical substances, right? So like cocaine, it's a very similar addiction mechanism that's occurring in your brain. And in a lot of ways, it's more insidious because even though there's a huge stigma associated with chemical dependency and addiction, there has at least been work done to attempt to destigmatize it. And that work has been impactful in some capacity. Not enough, I'm not saying it is, but that's not the case for gambling, where similar to how alcoholism was treated even like in the 80s, it is just the gambler's fault. And so there's an enormous shame component. And I've known people who've been addicted to chemical substances that gone to rehab for it, and then also later addicted to gambling. And they have said almost universally that gambling addiction was more destructive to their lives than the chemical addiction that they suffered. So
I'm not even surprised. Huge. I mean, from what I understand, I mean, just with shame in general, if you have shame about an activity that you do, you're more likely to hide it. And especially with something so financially integrated to like people's lives, gambling, if they have that shame with the gambling, they're going to hide it from like their spouse or like anyone in their life. And it will just, I've read stories in the past where people just like kind of fuck up everything and disappear, because they're trying to outrun their debt. And it's like, oh, their spouse like just finds out about it when they like are
at the worst moment.
Thousands and thousands in debt. And then it turns out, wow, I'm going to be completely broke, and it ruins everyone's life. It's like astonishingly sad.
Yeah.
I think it's... go on, Arif.
Yeah. One thing that I find interesting is that when I'm talking to people who are addicted to any number of substances and also addicted to gambling, one of the elements that's there is no ceiling for the amount of financial ruin you can be in with gambling, right? But there's like, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, I bet I could prove you wrong, but honestly, there's only so much cocaine you can buy, right? Like, there's like, it doesn't cost as much as people think, and gambling costs exactly as much as you can afford and then some, because people have been encouraged to take out loans and stuff like that. So people get hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and gambling addiction in a way that they don't for heroin and cocaine and, benzos and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like if your dealer for cocaine or whatever other substance would like have like a customer service representative specifically for you that might give you incentives and whatever else to get into debt to buy cocaine, like mafioso type of shit. Like that's what these
they facilitate your cocaine loan. Yeah.
Well, on the episode, you were also talking about how DraftKings was cajoling people to come back with these massive offers after they've kind of not gambled for a while as well.
It's crazy that they're like trying to do like a buy one get one free deal, like their fucking Target, to get them to like gamble their money away. That's fucking crazy.
Well, this is how I suspect drug dealers would operate if they had investors they had to satisfy and like shareholders, because I've known a lot of cases where drug dealers have just refused to sell to someone because they're a human and they're interacting with a human. And even though they engage in like this destructive activity, there's like limits to what they want to do or what they can do.
Isn't it fucking crazy that a cocaine dealer has more honor than Peter Thiel? Can you imagine?
Almost universally. There's probably no cocaine dealer with less honor than Peter Thiel.
But the
Venture
thing is,
capital
though,
backed cocaine dealer with like a flat brim monster hat is the funniest fucking idea.
The Cookie Monster pajama pants,
all of these companies have less respect and honor than our beautiful slot machines of Las Vegas, Nevada, and our beautiful tables with their publicly available rates and odds. The odds are the odds. We do not cheat here. We have honor. But I do think that there's a larger thing that, I know we're talking about Polymarket today, for example. I think that it goes back to like 2021, 2022. I think this is the encroachment of gambling into modern society, because cryptocurrency was sold as a scam. Like, the whole thing with crypto wasn't that people went into it just being like, oh, I think this is for real. People were like, I know that this is kind of dodgy, but I'm kind of taking a risk. And by taking a risk, I will get paid off. And that when people lose money here, it's because they were insufficiently smart. I am smart. I make the right decisions. This is exactly the same logic that DraftKings and the like kind of lean into.
It's sort of just that dream I think a lot of people in America have of just getting rich quick. You know, people invested in Bitcoin because they're like, maybe I can strike gold. Maybe I can. It's a gamble. Maybe I'll lose everything, but maybe I'll become a millionaire or something.
Well, I have a somewhat. I agree. I have a little more of an empathetic perspective, which is I moved to America in 2008, and that was really the last year when you could get a house. Like, as a regular person,
that's a crazy time. Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, really good. September 2008, perfect time to move to New York.
Final day, yeah.
Yeah, great. But it was the sense that I had come out of college, everyone had come out of college and been told, if you work hard, you come out of college, you work hard, you get a job, because you have your degree, you get a job, you get a house. Life happens. Like, you accumulate wealth by working hard. I feel like that year, maybe 2007, was when that ended. So I think when crypto came along and got so popular, there was this sense of fuck everything, like a real nihilism to it. And I think DraftKings and the like lean into it. I think Polymarket leans into it, where it's like, yeah, the world fucking sucks. Yeah, this is full of scam artists. Yes, this is inherently evil. Yes, it's pernicious and twist people in various directions, but the fuck else are you going to do? Work hard? Because working hard doesn't get you anything. Like, it's
working
super
hard for jobs.
dark.
Yeah.
And
it also doesn't help that a lot of these services are now just like integrated into everything. Like all of the like evil machinations of our society are just like, you open your phone and it's the first thing you see. Like, it's like all this shit. Like AI, of course, is another example of this, where it's just inescapable. All of this is just integrated into ads on television or on YouTube. It's just like everywhere. It's inescapable, any of these things.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about why that is later, I think. A quote that Peter Thiel had made about essentially how he knows his politics are so stinky and insidious that he can't get them through democratic means, so he's going to essentially force feed everything to us through technology is part of it.
Well, he did hesitate when he was asked, should humanity survive? So
that was all performance. People fell hook, line, and sinker for that one. I'm so sorry.
Wait, what's the context of this?
It's just like
the
everyone
Russ
watched it and went,
do that interview, right?
Oh yeah. Are we going to play this right now, or you want what I thought? Sorry, my cat has decided to join in. No, is Ross do that? Asked him, "Do you think humanity survived?" And he went, He's like the dog of wisdom, and he didn't give a fucking answer. And people were like, "Oh my god, Peter Thiel thinks. Oh, Peter Thiel thinks this." It's like, he's doing a bit. He doesn't think anything.
Wait, what was the question about how he was like survive
do
what?
Do you think
survive
that humanity should survive long term?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was like people like, oh my god, he's so evil. Evil or not, it's just like, who gives a fuck? He wants this. This is what they planned, and everyone fell for it. Everyone falls for it every single time. It's the same fucking thing. I don't know. Maybe they should get an interviewer who doesn't experience dementia every time they get an answer. But
it's also one of those. It's also one of those things where I feel like if these people like Peter Thiel can properly sell to the public, that they're the only ones that will allow society to thrive if we continue to give them more and more power. Then that's like
I don't even think they're doing that. I don't think Peter Thiel is selling anything. I think he goes on a thing, goes Antichrist, blah 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 blah. I'm evil, and then people go, oh, I'm so scared of him, and then nothing happens. They don't have an ideology. Oh, they want to live forever and build a city and get away from regulations. Big fucking deal. People have been saying that for 100 years. Like, what we meant to watch fucking Deadwood and be like, oh, I hear what Al Swearingen said to that Chinese man. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's just the power that these people have is only as much as we give them oxygen for it. And it's
the
like,
one worry I do have, though, in this context, in this vein, though, is that they have the most money in history anyone's ever had. And they're kind of like absolutely like weaponizing that. Obviously, people with that much money. Well, I think they are. Yeah, I think like people like Elon Musk is like a great example.
Elon Musk is a good example.
Kind of
Peter
like
Thiel
an installation into the Republican Party. I mean, like Peter Thiel.
Yeah,
I agree with some of what you're saying, Ed, for sure, and like the whole
Peter Thiel
transhumanist thing that he was talking about. But he does fund a lot of like radical. What was that Blake Masters guy? He gave millions to his campaign. There's like, I mean, he's doing
I'd be more worried about the crypto people that fund candidates far more than Peter Thiel. Not because I don't think Peter Thiel's bad, but because I don't think Peter Thiel has any fucking idea what he's doing. He throws money at... How'd Blake Masters do, by the way?
Yeah, he did.
The thing is with him is he was like actively repulsive in a way that Peter Thiel isn't even, which is astonishing because I think Peter Thiel is actively repulsive to like most people.
Yeah, it's just these people seem very scary and they have all this money, but their actual ways of like executing with the money is not particularly. They're not very good at it. Like they invested in what, Anduril and Palantir. It's like, what is Palantir? Anyone able to tell you what Palantir does? It's just evil Salesforce.
It's just from what I do know, from what I've learned, Palantir is genuinely pretty.
No, I'm pretty confident
terrifying.
they're just evil.
But that's what Salesforce was. Salesforce was already selling to fucking ICE. It's just what Salesforce was doing. Like it's exactly the same thing. Palantir themselves put in their own K10, I think it was, that like in 2024 that they can't promise any money actually comes out of AI. Like
I love that all of these people just admit that. That's so funny.
They're just like, yeah, you know. And yeah, they do data collection. So have Intellius and Spokio. Like
they're just kind of the mechanism by which like the NSA and ICE and all these people collect and use data. So they're just
they've already done that. They were doing it before there were other companies doing it. Like that's the thing. They just turned it into a public stock. Like, oh my god.
To Ed's point, like right now I'm covering this like crazy NFLPA whatever that's going on.
Oh hell yeah!
I can't wait to talk about that.
And the guy that used to run the NFLPA before he was ran out of town for submitting a requisition for a ride to a strip club of all things. He was previously the chief financial officer for Booz Allen Hamilton, which is the most profitable independent intelligence agency in the world. And they work with the United States federal government and the Saudi Arabian government, as well as a couple of others. And no one like talks about companies like that. We talk about Palantir, but no one talks about companies like that have existed for longer that aren't, like Ed said, like publicly traded.
Yeah, it's one of the, like, it's kind of, and the thing is, there was literally an article in Wired recently called "What Does Palantir Do?" And it's the same shit as Salesforce. It's people who work there are like, I can't really tell you, man. It allows you to operationalize data, I think. But because Alex Krapp goes on stage and goes like, this is the biggest company ever, and we need to sell data to people who shoot people with bombs. Everyone's like, oh my God, these companies, these people, the reason that they are scary is we allow them to be, versus treating them with contempt and pointing at them for being very silly. I'm Matt Hughes, my editor, is working on a piece right now. I'm so fucking mad I didn't have this idea. Just listen to these people speak. They're not scary. They sound stupid. They don't sound like real supervillains. They sound like Gargamel.
I think the one
Gargano is actually far more eloquent, I should be clear.
he does have some pretty dedicated followers.
He wants to eat all the Smurfs or fuck one of them, I think. I didn't really pay attention during the movie.
No, I think he made the woman
he made Smurfette, who is played by Rihanna.
So that she would corrupt all the other Smurfs because like women are evil or something.
By making them horny? Like
I don't know. I'm not following his line of logic here.
Gargamel. Sorry, but it's just.
I think one thing that's undeniable with a lot of these people, though, is that they're making a lot of services, like AI chatbots, for example, that are getting people hooked into using these and like creating new. No, not him in particular, but he is funding like companies like Polymarket that are like gambling, like that stuff like
and
that.
Polymarket's
very
evil.
But like all of these things is like, if they're not directly doing all these evil things, a lot of these people are investing in creating different services that are very evil and sort of ruining the brains of a lot of people, very young people too.
Agreed, but stopping them starts with making it very clear how doofy they are, because they are universally doofy. Like I'm really trying to make everyone realize that the easiest way to get Sam Altman to fold is to keep calling him Clammy Sammy and Clamule because if you start treating these people with contempt, as you should do, but also just kind of pointing at them and going, they sound fucking stupid. None of them can get a sentence out. You listen to like Andreessen or Thiel, and they're just like, well, you know, the thing is, the terrible thing is that I, as a white man, cannot do things that I wish to. And they sound like they are they're just buffering constantly.
I've always thought like and you have to give some caveats. Like Sam Altman, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, none of these disgusting perverts could ever go to just a regular bar somewhere in the fucking suburbs and explain how what they're doing is good for somebody sitting next to them at the bar today. Not hypothetically, not what could it possibly do if we give them another $1 billion, please, please, please. What does OpenAI do that is worth spending? What is it, $200 a month? What does it do?
Yeah, I had this realization the other day that Elon Musk in particular, every single company he has, aside from, I guess, maybe Tesla, but even to an extent, a lot of what Tesla still is, pretty much all of his businesses and all of the wealth he has accumulated is just premised off of the one day all of these things will do what I say they are going to do. That's like how a lot of these people get their wealth and power. It's just like the promise factor of the future.
The weirdest thing is they start with a useful thing, like Peter Thiel and actually Elon kind of started with PayPal. Well, Elon tried to ruin PayPal, and they just fired him while he was on his honeymoon, which is the only funny thing Elon Musk has ever done was crashed his McLaren, I think it was, Peter Thiel in the car, and then turned to him and went, "This isn't insured," which is a great punchline.
Just to rewind a second, Ed, for those who don't know, how did Elon try and ruin PayPal?
So what happened was PayPal... Oh, God, this is a real fucking thing. So what happened was PayPal was a separate company, and X.com, which was a different thing at the time, merged with them for some reason. And then while Elon Musk was on... He also wanted to change the name of PayPal to X.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel was like, no.
He just got lucky by buying
for
a short URL.
years.
That's been... he's been coasting off of that domain.
And then there was a bunch of fraud that happened on X because you were allowed to, and I really do mean the original one, because you could just put any bank account information in, it wouldn't try and like confirm anything. So you could just send money out of it if you got in there.
Hell yes.
Musk went on honeymoon and they just like voted him out. And they changed the name of the company to PayPal, and he was gone. And that was the end of that. But that was a useful company. Hilarious. And Tesla at the beginning was a useful company. I had a Tesla back in 2014. It was fine. It was good. It was a cool car. It was very much like a freshly divorced car to buy, but it was a car. But it was cool back in 2014. Those cars have looked the same, if not worse. It's actually really weird how Teslas have got worse. Not just like stayed the same, actually. The user interface is worse. But these guys, all started in places with useful stuff. Mark Andreessen and Mosaic, one of the original graphics user interface browsers, and Netscape. Like,
well, I mean, the thing about that is, like, for a lot of Elon's success with Tesla, a lot of it is just this company already existed, and then he wormed his way in, and so they already had a design philosophy, an engineering base, and all that. And while he was pretty good at making sure that they attracted more funds, usually through subsidies, his like primary thing was like marketing himself through it, and so he like changed his title to founder, even though he didn't found the company. But like as time has gone on, and there hasn't been any reason to like, or hasn't been any momentum for any new people to like change the design flow. That's why they look the same, is because he took an already existing idea and can't innovate on it. The most input he's ever had on a Tesla is the Cybertruck, the famously successful,
the best vehicle of all. I saw one of those. Every time I see one, my brain has to reload it. Like I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck is every time? It's not like I immediately go Cybertruck. I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
Like someone said it as a joke like a while ago that it just feels like polygons haven't loaded, but it genuinely feels like that. It like literally,
It looks like the game of Flashback or Another World.
and that's like the thing is like you could see him like online and stuff like that, and it does look like that online, but like seeing it in real life,
it's even weirder in real life.
Yeah, and maybe it's because I am online all the time, or I'm so used to these old video games like fucking EverQuest and whatever. But I am waiting for it to render. Like my brain is like that hasn't finished yet.
Yeah, there's not enough car there. It doesn't look like that. Like it's looking like there's a bit of car. Like this is the bit that's under the car.
Yeah, exactly. It's the wireframe that the model is put onto. You haven't skinned the car. The textures haven't loaded yet.
It's also surprisingly small. Like it looks like in pictures. It looks like it should be the size of a school bus. Like it looks like it should be too large, but it looks it's so small.
It's both smaller than it looks and too big to be allowed. Like at the same time.
Exactly.
There's just nothing that's correct about it, frankly. Yeah. Like nothing is right when you look at it.
But there is a wider thing here, which is you'd think, okay, Elon Musk, you got billions of dollars. Everyone credits you with inventing this car that you didn't invent. And then the electric vehicle industry, which you didn't do. Peter Thiel, well, you're a billionaire. You invested first in Facebook and you invented PayPal with someone. Wow, incredible stuff. Good shit. So you should be really happy with that. No. Just like you have more money than anything. And then they went on, all of them have gone on to make investments that have made even more money. Not happy at all. None of these people, and I say this and it sounds like a joke, but it's the truth. I don't think any of these people enjoy anything close to as much as I enjoy Diet Coke every time I drink it.
I think that's real. I think that's super real. And I think one of the things is like, we were talking actually before the show, right? About like how if you had $1 billion, you'd be fine. There's that tweet going around like $1 billion changes you. And you're like, well, if I got $1 billion, I'd just be fine. And I think you're right. But I think the process by which people get to $1 billion is that they somehow haven't found happiness at 500 million,
I think it might just be they get lucky a few times.
Well, that too.
And because when you get into a lot of these guys, and yes, I've looked, the way they get rich is because they made a few very early bets on a few things that went crazy. It's not like every single thing they do goes well. It is gambling. It is intentional gambling. It is gambling with information, but it is ultimately taking a risk. And because you can afford to take a risk, a lot of times, one of those risks will pay off. And because you can afford to make a big gamble each time, when it pays off in a huge way. So they probably look upon their works and instead of being like, wow, I can have a Diet Coke man, which, if you're curious, which of course you are, is the guy who will pay $500,000 to walk around and he has all the features of a Coca-Cola freestyle machine. He will not be allowed to look me in the eye or talk to me in any way, but he will bring me a Diet Coke whenever I need one.
And he would still be very normal aside from that.
I would be totally fine. Don't look at me, Jim. My name's Steve. Shut the fuck up, James. But Bob over there aside, they don't have anything to point at because they didn't enjoy the gambling. And there are some investors who are just like, yeah, I can do what I want. I can fly to wherever I want. It's fucking sick.
Tom from MySpace, he's like, yeah, dude, I hit it big and I am gone. Happy trails.
I'm chill.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And I think that's actually what I actually would just do. I'd post even more. But I think that these guys, they can't just look at the money and be like, sick, this is cool, or look at the investments, or look at all the startup founders to look up to them. They're like, there's something missing because there's been something missing the whole time. No one really respects them so much as they are scared of them. They want something from them. They don't have didn't have real friends before. They don't have them now. They're in group chats with Thomas Chatterton Williams or whatever, and they're like, well,
creating the best echo chambers of all time.
But it's just they're bored, angry, and they don't have any joy. They don't have anyone they talk to. You joke about therapy and all that, but they don't have any introspection of any kind. So they just go through life being upset in a way that they've never. Imagine if you never evaluated any of your feelings, but you had all this money. So you were just there, just being like just constantly like electrocuted by your emotions. That's why, and that's why Elon does ketamine.
Let's shift gears here into one of Peter Thiel's more. No, we're good. We're so good. More recent bets, and that is Polymarket. If you don't know what Polymarket is, all the fun stuff that Arif had talked about with sports gambling. What if you could ruin your life doing that on anything? You could bet on. What are some good examples?
Well, I mean, famously,
could I theoretically? Could I? I don't care about the election. I care about 9/11. Could I theoretically bet on 9/11?
Yes, actually, you can. Well, we're going to get to what you can and can't bet on here in a second. Technically speaking, it is illegal to bet on, for Americans anyway, to bet on illegal activities. I don't know how the CTFC has phrased it. But yes, you can, and people have bet on acts of terrorism. So it is quite possible. You could bet your house on whether or not 9/11/2 is going to happen. So
that's great. These guys tried to spot. I still have the DM from them in like July. They were like, "Hey, Arif, love your work."
They reached out to you too. I didn't get direct. Wait, so was it directly from Polymarket? Because representatives from both Kalshi and Polymarket reached out to me to try to do. And you're right, they do that thing where they're like, "Haha, hey, that's crazy that you commented about online gambling. Would you maybe want to sell your soul to us?" Is that what they did to you too?
Yeah. So it's Polymarket Sports. So they've got their own little sports division, right? Hey, Arif! 2 exclamation points. I'm Chris over here at Polymarket Sports. Everyone say hi to Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Definitely don't yourself.
We're big fans of your work. We're looking to partner with some pages. Who the fuck? For NFL season, and you crossed our radar. Would you be interested in some sponsored tweets/retweets? Let us know! Exclamation point. July 11th, 2025, 2:59 p.m.
At the time, my pinned tweet reach out for ads, so that was cool.
At the time, my pinned tweet was a link to my piece decrying gambling in sports. So they really,
Jesus Christ,
they fucking killed it. Honestly,
cool.
Yeah, it seems to be a weird thing where if you just like comment about online gambling at all, like they don't care what the substance of your opinions about it is. Just the fact that you are aware of it seems to be enough for them. Because I was posting before the election and like just. A little bit after the election, actually, like specifically the LA Palisades fire, that wildfire that was going on. I was like, this is the greatest evil. One of the greatest evils of the modern age is that we're gambling. You can gamble on basically what amounts to how many people are going to die and lose their homes in a natural disaster. And almost every time for a while, 3 different times total over the course of a year, some representative that worked for these companies was always like, hey, yeah, post some sponsored content. And it's just absurd. They don't care if you hate it or not. They don't.
Yeah, you can bet on anything. I'm looking at Polymarket's culture page right now. You can bet on anything from the number of tweets Elon Musk will make from August 15th to the 22nd, and currently
nice.
the leading is 400 to 424 at 11% is the highest category. Will Mr. Beast raise $40 million for his clean water initiative? Is Taylor Swift going to release a new album? Is Sydney Sweeney going to release a statement about the American Eagle controversy? All those kinds of things you can actually bet on Polymarket. There is like an odd system there, and I kind of like was hoping, Arif, you could explain how like gambling odds work before we talk about this a little bit more, so when we're talking about this we can have an understanding of how that works.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it kind of depends on whether or not they're doing like stock market style, like you buy for $1 or you buy and the cap is all within $1 and it pays out at the end of the event, and so like I remember a lot of betting markets for the election, because it's a binary outcome, yes or no, or I mean, not really, but like it is. That you would buy like Donald Trump at 89 cents and Kamala would be at like 11 cents or whatever, and then you would get $1 if you had bet correctly, but like obviously the price was different. So that was the way a lot of betting markets work. But in the United States for sports betting, there is a different odds system, and they're called American odds because, of course. But the odds system is, especially for like money line bets, which are basically like who wins or loses a game. What you can do is you can you see like a plus 120 or a minus 120, or it could be plus 200 or plus 300. The specific numbers are unimportant. The plus and minus signify, unfortunately, different things that are calculated differently. So if it is plus 120, what that means is if you bet $100 and you are correct in your bet. So I bet on the Eagles to win their opening game of the season, which I don't know, I think that's against the Cowboys. They wouldn't be plus 120, but stick with me. They're plus 120. You bet $100 on that. You get, if you're right, you get your $100 back plus another 120. Oh, that's nice and intuitive. Minus 120 is such that if you bet $120 and you are right, you will get your $120 back and 100 on top of it. And if you're at all familiar with the way numerators and denominators work, that's not reciprocal. Like the percentages don't line up. And so it can get pretty confusing, but it is at least a somewhat intuitive system if you're familiar with it and you look at it quickly to try and see like what that looks like. And the odds will never like fully flesh out. So like if you bet on one side at, let's say they're even odds, which are supposed to be at plus 100, but in casinos are like minus 105 or now a lot more minus 110. What happens is if, let's say you bet on both sides, I'm going to bet on the Eagles and the Cowboys with one bet and with the other bet, right? And they're both at minus 110 odds. Well, you can do the math really quickly there. That means that, you're guaranteed, unless there's a draw, but you're betting on someone to win, not on anything else. So you're actually going to lose in a draw too. You're guaranteed to lose money in that scenario, right? Because both of those have essentially priced in odds of about 48% happening, which means there's another 2 to 4% that are being left. And that's how casinos make money, by mismatching the odds. And that's called the juice or the vig. So that's how betting odds in the United States work in almost every other locale. And you see this throughout Europe. They use fractional or decimal odds, which allows you to calculate pretty quickly what the fraction or decimal is. So minus 110, the decimal odds are 1.9, which is for every unit, you get 1.901 back that you bet in. So, you can calculate using American odds, but they're just a little bit stupider.
Yeah. So in this case, essentially, for the Elon Musk tweet, you could buy, a bet at 12 cents, because that's the percentage, or no at 90 cents. So it's all based on a single dollar. And it's done with the U.S. stable coin, which correct me if I'm wrong, but
which one?
Yeah, which there's a couple.
USDC, is that what it is?
USDC. Okay, that's the one that's run by Coinbase and Circle.
And the idea behind
it's
these
the most legit
USDT,
one.
right? That's Tether.
The price is always the
USDT
same.
is Tether.
Yeah.
God, I fucking hate these stablecoin things. We had a
Sorry,
chance to get
Caleb.
rid of all this shit.
We just got
okay.
on a tangent
okay.
immediately.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's fine. But the idea is it's all done on the blockchain, and it's all done on the blockchain. And actually, unlike conventional sports betting, where as Arif had mentioned, you get a vig or the juice, whatever. On Polymarket, they actually don't make any money. They don't. In fact, if you, add liquidity to the market, they give you various incentives. So it's actually, they're paying people right now to use the platform, to build out in like kind of the typical VC method where you don't
build
turn
out
profit.
market share first and then figure out profit later.
Yeah, pretty much that's how it's going. And I think that they've really had to do that because it was actually Polymarket was banned in the United States up until just a few weeks ago. It was banned in 2022 during the woke Biden administration.
They also take a 2% cut of profits from winning trades.
Polymarket does?
Yes, they do.
I did not know that. I actually heard quite the opposite on something else.
To be clear,
read.
they make money. That doesn't mean they make a profit at all. This is Silicon Valley, baby. We don't make profits here.
They don't operate on profit.
Where we're going, we don't need profits.
But that's the only money that they actually take in, is what it sounds like. That 2%
It's 2% of winning
they're fucking
bets.
sneaky. I Google. Okay, so they do 2%. They just don't charge fees to place bet. Okay.
It's always the same with these fuck nuts.
Okay, but like the thing is, fees are being charged somewhere because if you have to buy cryptocurrency, you're paying a gas fee to get your transaction.
But that's not going to Polymarket.
No, it's not. But it's just like a user is going like. That's one of the many problems with stablecoins is that the transaction fees are insane to get onto the block. So yeah, Polymarket's not collecting them unless they own the chain that's on.
They might be on Polygon, which is quite a lot cheaper from what I remember. I spent many years not thinking about this stuff. I feel like Clint Eastwood in The Unforgiven. And maybe this movie ends in much the same way, I'm not sure, but every time this comes up, I'm like, no, I know what that means. Don't make me remember what the Winklevosses are.
Well, they talk about this stuff like it's the wisdom of the crowd, they call it, and it's like, oh well, you can actually. It's the idea behind this. I think is beyond. It goes beyond betting. It's like they want this on Bloomberg terminals. They want this, like the crypto idealists want this to be like a new lens through which you can analyze pop culture, politics, sports, whatever, because the wisdom of the crowd is always going to be a better indicator of what people actually want. And they try and prop this idea up that with the last election, Polymarket had predicted that Donald Trump was going to win the election over Kamala Harris. And I just don't, for a number of reasons, I think that most people assumed that Kamala was going to lose. She only had 100 days. It was a disaster. Joe Biden was a cluster.
And I also think that there have been other forms of doing this in the past as well. They just kind of weaponized money.
Well, that's exactly it. So they talk about this wisdom of the crowd idea, but what they don't tell you is that in the people that were betting on the election, there was only 150,000. And on top of that, they have what are called whales that are essentially people that are washing money through this, where they'll buy and sell millions of dollars on specific bets to influence them. They just essentially launder money through it. And that concept of big bets being controlled by a small number of people goes all the way down to their arbitration system. So say for every bet there's a specific way that they determine who wins, and that is for the presidential election, I think it was whoever CNN, Fox, and MSNBC declared the winner is how they determine who actually wins in case it's contested. But the thing is if that's undecided, they call it the optimistic oracle protocol, where So
Great.
Imagine a community notes thing on the Hitler app.
Hell yeah.
It's
now we're cooking, baby.
Dude, it's worse. You have to pay $750 to participate in essentially being an optimistic oracle. So assuming that something is contested, there's an arbitration where only the people that have purchased into this can vote, and those people will decide what is actually true. And these are the same people who are controlling essentially the biggest bets.
I love that we have conspiracy theories, but we also have shit like this happening.
Yeah, which is just what
an
conspiracy theories in their ideal form would imagine themselves to be.
Oh yeah, so guys who just control everything and do
Yeah, it's right there.
We have that.
Well, so there's something I want to say about
Very cool.
wisdom of the crowds and betting markets. This is something that I've worked with a lot, and a lot of times when you're dealing with sports analytics, a lot of people will kind of peg as the control when they're trying to predict something what the betting market says, because it does a generally really good job of beating out other analytics models at figuring out games. And so people then have taken this very large and rich market on betting on the outcomes of NFL games, and have kind of applied it to a lot of areas of sports betting where they kind of don't make sense. So, for example, like, where is this free agent signing going to sign? And no, there's actually no reason to imagine that the odds that are produced there are meaningful in any way, because the way that the wisdom of the crowds works in that case is that the odds constantly shift in response to a bunch of new bets. And the reason that those bets can be accurate is because a bunch of models are competing, because sharps who win money are using proprietary models to predict the outcomes of games, and they're competing against each other, and so it produces this kind of consensus. But the way
it's
that
funny because they say they're trying to like escape a world where you can, like, politically speaking anyway, like not have to worry about what the polls say, but they're essentially creating new ways to have polls.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And that was like really widely used in this last election. I feel like everyone who was like sort of online, specifically Twitter, saw a different like right-wing influencer every single day being like, "Oh my God, the new poly market and then the new Kelshi odds have Trump at this and Kamala at this," and it's like obviously Trump won, but it's also like, are you really like, is that really that doesn't measure actual sentiment? That measures what people with money that get involved with this,
right?
I guess. Feel, yeah.
There's like a couple of key differences between what polymarket does, what betting markets do, and what wisdom of the crowds are within the context of like studies on the wisdom of the crowds. So like the betting markets, they generally don't have, a couple of whales that have the ability to wildly swing the market. It's several like thousand people with a bunch of money without anyone with an overwhelming amount of money at one point. But also wisdom of the crowds doesn't really apply, I think, generally to betting markets, because when we typically talk about it, we're talking about people who all have not just the same access to information, but they don't have access to the information that other people have, and specifically what their guess is. And
like
so
that free agency signing example that you gave us, a perfect example of that. What wisdom does some fucking stupid schlub like me have over where a baseball player is going to sign in free agency? You just don't.
Yeah, you don't have it. And the example that's like used as like the classic wisdom of the crowds is like, guess how many like jelly beans are in this jar. And the way that works,
they should do that on Kelshi.
They should. But the way that
nailed that. I've done pretty good at those. I can't lie. I'm not bad at those ones.
It's special skills.
I can count candy. Yeah.
But the way that works is no one really has access to anyone else's guess, or I guess more importantly, no one gives enough of a shit to figure out what anyone else's guess is. So they're all making independent predictions. And what we found is that when, in those scenarios, when we eliminate independence, when we have people confer over how many jelly beans are in that jar, or when they have access to other people's guesses, they actually are more incorrect than if they had never had that information at all, which is obviously not what's happening in betting markets, and is super the fuck not happening with poly market, where not only do you have access to everybody's guesses all the time, you also have people who literally have the ability to pump the market with their access to media, right? And so you're influencing people's guesses with intentionally imperfect information. And then also you have a weighted guess based on the amount of money that you have. And so it's several steps removed from wisdom of the crowds as we understand it as an academic function, and still a couple of steps removed from the way sports betting typically works, where you have thousands or tens of thousands, or in the case of the NFL, hundreds of thousands of bettors that are making these bets. And so when you see these crypto people talking about, well, if you think polymarket is wrong, like you should bet, I trust them because they have skin in the game. Having money invested in a bet doesn't make you more fucking correct. It's an insane proposition.
It is
how could he be corrupt? He has a financial incentive.
I was going to, we're past the hour, so I'm not going to read the article, but I suggest other people do if you haven't heard about this. There was the WNBA, there was that incident where people were throwing dildos at the women.
Oh, yeah, and there were bets on
Jesus Christ.
There were bets on this. So now think about this. There were bets on this, and obviously the guy who got arrested, the most recent example, I think there have been more than one now, but the guy who threw the dildo most recently during that game, who was arrested, 100% that would not have happened. Obviously, we can all agree that would not have happened if this wasn't a polymarket thing. So these things very much do influence real world behaviors. Now, think about that, and then think about what June and I talked about, whether or not you can bet on 9/11/2 happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that sounds extreme.
It's like those old fucking 90s action movies where like the villain is evil and you find out at the very end he's actually not evil for like an ideological reason. He just has a financial stake in like the company exploding or what the fuck ever. Like we had a genre of movies in like the 90s and 2000s where that was like the sole motivation. I mean, it's Die Hard, right? All of the villains had like, no, I'm trying to blow up Nakatomi Plaza because I actually make a lot of money if that happens. But we've just made it a system.
Yeah, we call that the Building 7 Gambit.
Oh no! But they definitely would have gambled on which tower would have fallen. That absolutely would have been on Polymarket within seconds. Like, which one more?
Dude, Polymarket on 9/11 would have gone crazy.
Dude, imagine you go on Polymarket on September 10th, and it's like, what towers are going to get hit first? And it's like, what are you talking about?
You're an idiot for this. Like, why would you think that?
This Larry Silverstein guy is really predicting something crazy is going to happen in a month.
With stuff like this, though, I keep coming back to the conspiracy theory stuff where it's like, these people are like, yeah, the deep state is making it so that events will happen in the way they want them to so they can cash in. And I don't trust them, but I use Polymarket. It's like I use the most nakedly rigged system. Invested in by the people who have publicly said they love rigging systems, but also that they hate the deep state. I am a true trailblazer for escaping the deep state by using the system, the shadowy system, with very clear incentives built for rich people to take. It's the ultimate dunce test. It's just it's just like, oh yeah, do you believe in anything, or are you just mad at your mother? Like, I don't fucking know. And it's so frustrating as well, because these fucking crypto people for years are like, yeah, have fun staying poor. It's like, any of these people actually that rich? I wonder, like, they don't even seem to be doing
I'm sure.
They don't seem to be doing that well. It's real like peasant mode shit. Like, what do you think they did in the Dark Ages? Do you think that we found two pigs that love to bite each other. Let's put them in some slop and see whether they kill each other. I will put 5 coins on one pig. I'll put 5 coins on another. Like, it's not that far away from, like, will the village idiot die in this year? Like, really, we're not that far from feudal system bullshit.
I think that's like a major distinction for me, is like I'm already pretty opposed to online gambling, because I think it does give accessibility to like a type of addiction that really quickly ruins a lot of lives. And I think that should absolutely not continue the way it's been going through a lot of like these DraftKings type services. But there's like a different nefariousness with like this example I have here. It's odds Pakistan strikes India to soar to 86%, and it's like, why? There's like a level
and then people
in my mind.
Report on it.
There's people report on it, and it influences like that in that way. But it's also just the fact that these like very wealthy people are gambling on like disaster and death and like destruction is just like it makes me malfunction in a way that like is even more evil than just like sports gambling or just like gambling with friends, like playing poker or whatever.
It's desperation.
Yeah.
It's desperation to find any kind of small leg up, because these people, if these people had access to, I don't know, healthcare and ways to make money and ways to actually like live their lives with dignity.
They wouldn't be doing this stuff.
They would be off enjoying their fucking lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most explicit version we have of profiting off of people's misery. Like, you know, the United Healthcare CEO, Brian, what's his name? Don't care. You know, a lot of people were talking about it. They're like, yeah, he profits off of people's misery, which is true. I'm not going to contest that characterization. But it is more true that you make money directly from a terrorist attack happening, that you are profiting off of people's misery. And then I think, like, that's the part that, like, should break your brain. But the thing that, like, really makes me lose my mind is that, like, in the news, in like the fucking like CBS, like actual like that you're supposed to trust these guys to talk about shit that matters, right? They're like, hey, Polymarket says there's an 80% chance that Pakistan's
Crazy.
What the fuck are you? Why are you listening to that?
Just frame it as a bunch of fucking idiots said.
Yeah,
like the hogs are slopping around today, and let's see what they're oinking out. And it's just like it's frustrating as well. But I think it's journalists. I think there's a big problem with journalism as well, where there are some writers who want to get as far away from actual work as possible. They don't want to learn anything. They don't want to learn how the software works. They don't want to learn how Polymarket works. They just want to go, ooh, everyone's honking like this today. I'm going to honk like that. That sounds fun. Ooh, I can seem like I'm ahead of the curve. It's the same fucking logic as the people betting on Polymarket.
It's kind of like the take economy. It's the take economy, but with money. Yeah.
I don't even think the take economy. I agree it's the take economy, but it's even lamer than that.
It is.
Because the take economy is like, I'll have an opinion. This is just, what's happening out there? Oh, all right, some fucking shit. Okay, well, I guess I don't want to have any independent thought, and a lot of people are agreeing with this one thing. 150,000 people. Seems like a lot of people. Oh, okay, well, I'm a journalist and I'm paid to have opinions, but not for me, thanks. And so, and it's just because otherwise you'd have to read stuff and learn things and come to opinions based on it. And you would also, if you turn against Polymarket, their whole goal, companies like Polymarket's only goal is to get enough people to talk about this like it's rational, so that dumbass journalists, I'm not saying all journalists are dumbass, but the dumbasses ones will come along and go, whoa, 3 other people have said this. I no longer look like a dick shit just writing up whatever this says. That is the goal. I don't even think it's a particularly well thought out goal. They're just like, let's just keep doing this until everyone agrees. But it's just dumb. And at some point, it's going to lead to someone actually getting killed. Like, that's the thing that people don't realize. Crypto led to that. There was a story in the Wall Street Journal about someone kidnapping someone and torturing them for their password. That happens all the time in crypto. With Polymarket, someone's going to get killed because there will be a bet about it. And Polymarket, and the death of regulation in America, not that it really existed before, they're just going to do whatever the fuck they want. And when they do, someone's going to get killed. And people say, oh, Ed, you're overreacting. They do speak like that. I'm not overreacting. When someone dies because of this, Polymarket should be shut down.
But it won't. It probably won't.
Okay.
But I think the greatest proof of that is just the fact, and of course it's a way lesser, no one died, but Caleb, your example with the dildo during the WNBA, the fact that someone did something because that was influenced by these like betting markets, the proof is already there.
Fucking
People
outrageous,
do it.
by the way. I just have to, sorry to wokely harp on this. To do that, it was just so beyond the pale. I don't know. I was kind of. I think everybody should read by the Athletic Ben Pickman. He had a piece about this, and it's very good. And I just think that it's just so disrespectful. And I think that you're completely right. Polymarket should be held directly, legally, civilly responsible for anything that happens with this kind of thing. It's just ridiculous that this is allowed.
Absolutely. I mean, and it also just goes to show that none of these people really care that much about. This is a totally different topic, but they don't care about women's sports. Whenever they're like, "Oh, the sanctity of women's sports, trans people, we got to kill all trans people," and then they go to these events and then they throw dildos at these. Like,
1,375 plus measles cases in US by August 31. 86% chance.
Awesome. I love that one. That's a cool one to think about. Yeah.
Will the next James Bond be British?
What? What?
Lana Del Rey divorced in 2025. Trump divorced in 2025. Selena Gomez married in 2025. Will an Everyone open in New York City in 2025? Borderlands 4 Metacritic score.
So there's just everything. You could literally bet on it.
This is what you create for a populace that does not have the resources or support to live a dignified life. That's all it is. This is slop for the hogs. This is betting on crabs fighting. This is straight up like
and there's
the
something
Simpsons
like
monkey knife fight.
Yeah,
It
no,
really
it
is the
It
Simpsons monkey knife fight.
It's that's beautiful, actually. I mean,
Or that
obviously it's
meme
awful,
with the
but,
guy
like,
where he's like smoking in the background of two women fighting on a beach.
yeah, exactly. That I love that one actually, but
Yeah, that guy rules.
but like, there's just like something, and like this is like my boomer moment where it's like, well, back in my day, but like, there's just something kind of fun, like idly speculating about, like, hey, I wonder if Lana Del Rey will get divorced or whatever. Who
Yeah,
cares,
but that's
right?
the thing that guys do on their hot couches in college. We don't need to monetize
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And that's the thing. It's just like, let us just have fun predicting stupid shit that doesn't matter and not fucking monetize it. Because that's like the thing, right? Every fucking thing we do, every time you think of inactivity, like naming guys, fucking dudes love to name guys, right?
Yeah.
You just, there's just some way to fucking monetize it,
Some
right? And it's
pervert
just,
that got $5 million from Peter Thiel will be like, I'm gonna get in the middle
I'm
of this.
gonna build the name guys app, and I'm gonna copyright the concept of naming guys, and then you could bet on whether or not you could name the most. Fuck! Shut up! I hate you. I made up a guy in my head, and now I'm mad.
The thing is, it's that you didn't make up a guy. You're just like analyzing where we are as a society.
Kill the guy in your
where people
head.
are so people are so desperate for like anything to like get them out of poverty or just like destitution and like out of the system at least a little bit, that the only hope to like make enough money to pay off their like student loan debt or medical debt is to start a name that guy Twitter account. Like that's the only hope
Right,
people
yeah.
have.
Fucking
it's
everything,
so fucking miserable.
Like
they
you were
actually
hanging out
wanted-
with your friend Chad in the frat house, and he knew all of the members of the 1988 World Series rosters, and he's really fucking good at it. And now you realize Chad has monetized his ability to name some fucking World Series guys.
And now Chad is in the fucking Trump administration for some
what
reason.
the fuck?
Yeah, Chad Chigley, he's the deputy administrator of DHS.
For his guy naming software. It
You do
detects
not want to
guys.
hear his nickname. It is racist. The thing is, I actually have a theory that if the government or even just a startup came along, which was funded exceedingly well, and the job was, we provide 2% interest mortgages, and we make underwriting really easy, and we have massive amounts of money invested with the expectation that people will be late on their payments. That would change all of this. If people could just buy housing, if people didn't say, I know this sounds very lefty wokey, but it's true. This is everything happening here is an act of despair. Nothing that's happening is because people are having fun. People having fun do not go, I'm going to bet on whether Trump gets divorced this year. You do that because you're bored and angry and sad. You're lost. You turn on the TV, everyone's screaming. You go online, everyone's screaming. Everyone, like the guy in power
betting on the
sucks.
metascores of unreleased games is deranged behavior.
It's what
But
you
it's
do
one of
when
those
you don't
things,
have
too.
anything
It's worse
else.
like betting on regular season baseball games, dude. Like,
And that's the
Just
thing, is you can't really
miserable.
blame anyone like on an individual level for participating
No.
in these systems. Like you really can't. Like
No.
it's the thing is, it's like the people are kind of maybe not forced to. No one's forced to, but everyone is definitely incentivized to
They
due
have
to
less
various different
choices.
reasons. Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the thing. They have less opportunity. It's the same thing that happened with crypto. Do you think that people would have invested in crypto if there was a way for the average person to invest in the stock market in a way that actually, if the stock market operated in a way that was accessible to the
Rational
average
and
person?
reasonable, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I
like
think you're right.
if the stock market was not a series of different hedge fund computers fucking each other every day, a billion times a second, and the one that's closest to the stock market wins and comes, like that's...
I
like, if the
hate
stock-
that is literally the most accurate summation of how money is made on this. Like, literally the geographically closest. That's so... I'm so mad again. Thanks, Ed.
And the thing is, this is the thing, like, people are not doing this because they have a better option. There is no thing. It's not like we're in cities where it's easy to see our friends. It's not like our social networks connect us. It's just like fucking depressing, and they're making slot for the depressed people. I do genuinely think there is an opportunity just for like housing and like a normal health insurance company. But at the same time, you do know that if someone tried to do that, they would fund whatever they had to stop it. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Oh, but
No,
yeah,
yeah, for
totally
sure.
right about
I
that.
mean,
yeah.
I remember like there were like, you know, a number of studies done on like, you know, stuff like universal basic income. Just give people money, see what happens. And, you know, the most pessimistic of those studies found that it didn't affect employment, which I thought was, you know, me, stupid, naive liberal, right? Thought like, oh, that's a really positive. If the worst finding is that people seek employment at the same rate they did before, that's proof that this doesn't like make people lazy and reliant on free money to not do work. And a bunch of people wrote stories about that study that were basically like, yeah, so we found that universal basic income doesn't increase employment. And you're like, wait, that's not, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, that's not the takeaway here. That's I mean that's a positive. That's not a.
It's about giving them money without having a job. That's the whole fucking point of it. That's what you do it.
Yeah.
The thing is, no one should have anything, is what like these people want. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you don't work hard enough, just like the CEO of a big company who definitely works a lot.
Well,
and
I mean,
indeed,
because they
can...
wake up at 5 a.m. and then they have 3 days in a day.
That's the thing, though. They're always like, yeah, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I read my emails. It's like, no, you don't, mate. Like, every time I hear that, I'm like, no, you don't. Or do you wake up at 5 a.m. and like fuck around on your phone like the rest of us?
That's definitely what I do. That's definitely what I'm doing. Yeah.
First thing
I woke up at 5
first thing
a.m.
I do is I
today
go and
and
I answer
after
I
I'm
look
on
at my spam text. It's like, hi, I'm a recruiter from such and so. We'll pay you $300 a day to click this link. And it's like, no, that's the first text I get every morning.
Yes. Yes.
But I do want to say,
here is my social.
I think we're about to wrap up, but one little final note I want to end on about like Polymarket and just like the destitution of all of society from all of these rich people is that Polymarket and X, the Everything app, partnered recently, and they're going to be definitely integrating both of those services together somehow. I don't entirely know. I don't think Elon Musk has talked too much about it, but they have partnered, and the gamblization of our society is just going to keep increasing unless some non-existent government institution actually tries to regulate this stuff. So it's going to be at least 3 years until anything like that happens at a minimum.
Okay, Ed and Arif, thank you guys so much for coming. As always, it is a pleasure to have you on our show. I am very much looking forward to, 2 weeks until we start 60-minute drill back up. I can't wait. I'm going to plug that real fast for us, and then I'll let you guys do your plugs. We're back very soon, and we're going to be doing premium episodes and stuff like that too. So if you're a big old sports sicko and want to hear stuff like this, please give us your money. There's an 11% chance I won't kill myself if you sign up for our Patreon. And that's all I got.
And I am betting on that outcome.
A lot of people are talking about that bet, so I know the wisdom of the masses.
The wisdom of the crowds,
you know,
yeah. CBS has reported that the odds.
Jeff Passan has said.
Ed, what do you got for us?
Well, you can find everything at betteroffline.com. I started a premium new version of Where's Your Red At. I say we as if it's not just me. I have the full story on how ChatGPT 5 works, which
It's really good, by the way. Check out that story on ChatGPT 5.
And yeah, Tech Meme has very unfairly not put it up there. What are you trying to hide? But yeah, please go to my blog, subscribe to my blog.
Yeah, I've also got blog. Go to wideleft.football. Even if you don't like football, just go there. Just check it out. No, I've got stories, obviously, about like football. Is Trevor Lawrence good enough? Why isn't Kyle Pitts good? That kind of stuff, right?
And the Kyle Pitts one is fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
such a well written piece. It was so good.
Yeah, I'm so happy with it. We've got a piece coming up about like there's something called the Freaks List that comes out, so we see how accurate it is at predicting athleticism. But even if you're not into football, there's stuff like why sports journalism is dying, like ESPN and the NFL are to blame. I've got that piece on gambling. I've got a piece on like various sports media companies that have blown up and died. Those are pretty popular. So there's all kinds of stuff. I also have a piece on like how various companies are killing elements of football YouTube. I've got stories on I just get sad about politics sometimes, so I just write about that. It has nothing to do with football. Those pieces do really well, so check out wideleft.football and find a story you like. I promise there's at least one.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
We'll see you guys at the start of regular season, and for all of you Kill the Computer listeners, we will see you in about a week.
the computer.